What's going on? What's going on? Born for Sports. And this is the 2024 Winter Meeting Stream Show. Just wanted to, let everyone out there know we are some excited mother effing Met fans right now. And for obvious reasons. Before we begin, I got to introduce my guys that wanted to join today. Of course, got my guy Ramon. He's here. Colorado Rockies employee with the scoreboards and knows his stuff. Advocate baseball fan. Y'all go anyone out there not familiar with this show, they're gonna learn something listening to this man. I just want to give a shout out. Welcome, Ramon.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And of course, we got our guy Josh Holden in the Heezy. What's good, bro?
What's going on? Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Advocate Met fan. And anyone that knows him knows he's going to bring that smoke. So he's going to bring that smoke to your team. If you ain't ready to clap back, you better be ready because he ready. And, of course, we got my guy, Dan Key. First time on the stream. Welcome, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Very happy to come out and hang out with you guys for a few.
Oh, yes. And if y'all know, and listen, anyone out there that's watching from the Diamond Discussions group, y'all know Keeg is good with them shots. Don't sleep on the guy. So you better come correct if you got some trolling to do. And of course, last but not least, my guy, Justin Ray, that Met antagonist, along with that Met antagonist is in the house and on the show. Welcome, my brother.
Good to be here. I have to show up today. No, let me show the people the hoodie real quick.
Hey,
I know the blurred background.
Good, baby.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of Met love on this channel right now. Now, we're going to talk about, obviously, the big news. Juan Soto's a Met. We're going to talk about a lot of things because obviously it's the 2024 Winter Meetings. And, we keeping an eye on some possible transactions in case they do break on the show. We will mention it. This is about the some Mets fan love and talk right now, but also we are talking about all baseball outcomes, all baseball topics. So anyone out there watching, feel free to chop in, whatever you want to do. We're gonna talk about it. But let's get to the biggest news. The biggest news in the world of baseball. Mets have signed Juan Soto.
Wow.
15 years, $765 million. It's a beautiful day. I don't know about y'all. I didn't sleep too great because I'm that excited that he is a New York Met now. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. There's a lot of talk out there. People, people are happy, of course, obviously in Metland. And then, of course, there's the other side. There's the other side that didn't get Juan Soto and want to say, hey, paid too much, not worth the money, and all of that. But before I get you guys' thoughts, I want to say that it is finally time to give the man Steve Cohen his due. Everyone was talking about, oh, he's rich, but what has he done? Well, this was the reason why us Met fans was excited, because we finally can now shop at the big boy table, get the big fish, and he got it done. He got it done. We'll start with Ramon. What are your feelings on the move, bro?
Obviously, I'm excited about the move. 15 years. Like, obviously, he hasn't opted out after 5, but, I mean, that's optimal for a play. He's 26 years old, just going into his prime.
Yeah.
Like, I take that every day and twice on Saturday, like, easily.
Absolutely.
And this just goes to show you, like, ever since he's even become owner, like, the Lindor trade, and then gave him that big contract right away.
Yeah.
It didn't work, but like he gave Scherzer and freaking Verlander freaking bags. He was like, you know what? Let's just see what we can do. We're not going to trade any of our freaking assets. And they didn't, thankfully. He threw the bag at them. It didn't work. Restocked our whole minor league system. We went from dead last in the minor leagues to top 10.
Yes, sir.
Like two moves last year. 2 moves made all that happen. And the smart drafting of David Stern right now. Like you can tell, like these guys actually give a crap about this team. Think about this, guys. Think about this. In 2020, before September, September, October, November, before Steve Cohen bought the team, there was the Bryce Harper, the Manny Machado sweepstakes. Remember those?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
10 years, 12 years, $330 million. What did the Wilpons say? It's preposterous to think that we will spend money like that for a player.
I remember
Look
that
where
quote.
we
Not to
are
cut you
now.
off, Ramon. Not to cut you off. I remember that quote they made too. Oh, I don't know how many teams have two $30 million players on the same payroll.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that just goes to show you the type of time they was on.
Look where we are from then. And I can't say enough about Steve, and not only Steve, but Alex Cohen. Hats off to freaking Alex Cohen too, because she was a freaking MVP in closing that deal. Like she, like the Mets are showing like family. That shit is important. People don't realize how important family is to Major League Baseball players. Like if they don't feel like they're wanted, if they don't feel like their families wanted, they're not going to stay there.
Yep.
They're just going to dip.
And I got some thoughts on that too. Go ahead.
Not to bring, and my last thought about that whole thing, about just the whole family and that whole situation. This isn't the first time that we've heard the Yankees have done this.
Mm-hmm.
They did it with Ken Griffey Jr. You remember that?
Yep.
He was like, "Oh, I remember seeing Greg Nettles' kids being able to go on the field, play third with their father. I would step out of the dugout. I was shunned and told to get the hell out of here."
Yeah. And you know that smelled real funny. Them doing something like that. Yeah.
So is this going to continue happening? If it is, hey, better for us and better for everyone else in MLB.
Yep.
But the Yankees need to do something, like, because these aren't Georgia's Yankees. These aren't, and it's kind of sad, but kind of not, because we were on the other end. We were the shit on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
Now we could compete. Now they have to worry about us.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. I totally agree. I'm gonna come back. We're gonna circle back on that point about family in a minute. Josh, what is your take on this move, bro?
This is the biggest move that the Mets have made in 26 years since the Piazza trade.
Absolutely.
I concretely remember the Piazza trade. I was in the car with my grandfather, and WFAN was talking about the Mets anemic offense at that time. I think we had like the 98 team. We had like Bernard Gilkey on the team, and a bunch of like, it was just we had a solid infield that played defense really well, but we couldn't hit worth lick. Couldn't hit anything.
Facts.
And there's a shift in mindset now. To pivot on the Yankee point, the Yankees are too corporate.
Yes.
They're way too corporate. Nobody cares about the 27 championships anymore.
No.
Especially international players, in my opinion. You're 20, between 20 and 26 from the Dominican Republic, wherever you're from. You don't care about what the Yankees did in the 1950s, 60s, 70s. You want those.
You weren't alive.
You weren't alive.
25 of the 27 they have were before most of these kids were alive.
Yeah, exactly. So they're not going to care about that.
So you're telling me I have to, this clean-cut corporate environment, very rigid. I have to cut my beard. I can't bring my family.
Cut your hair, everything.
I can't bring my family, but we'll reluctantly give you $760 million. No, I'm gonna go across town. So the Met, I knew that we had a chance at Soto when we swept the Yankees in the regular season, because it was during that whole OMG phenomena with Iglesias.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's what having so much fun. I think the Yankees had lost, like, they were like in a downward spiral. They were really struggling, and the Mets were coming up. The OMG, we swept them. I'm like, we really have a chance at Juan Soto. He sees that concerts in the middle of the you have a player doing a concert.
Yeah.
The culture is a culture change. Nobody cares about that 27 championships, clean cut corporate stuff anymore, and they got to pivot, because if they don't, they're going to be in big trouble going forward. They're going to be in huge trouble.
Right. Totally agree. Before we also continue, Corey, welcome to the show. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on, man?
Good, man. I'm glad you could make it, man. Glad you on here. I know you got some opinions. I'm gonna get to you in a minute, but I gotta get an opinion from Dan since he was already here. Dan, what is your take on this whole signing, and what are we feeling like today, man?
Man, guys, the one thing I gotta say is all day there's 6 words that have just given me life, and it's if the boss was still alive, because it's all I've been hearing on FAN all day, and I swear to God, I dig his ass up so I can see him rolling over in his grave myself. I gotta be honest. All the saltiness from that other side of town, just feed it to me. And today's, in all seriousness, today's a day to me where there's just a shift in town, because there was always that thing, like we couldn't get a player that they wanted. Obviously, like, let's be honest, Beltran wanted to go there. They didn't want to spend the money. We did. I'm fine with that. I moved on. I moved on the day that happened. I was just happy to have him. But this is a guy that they wanted, that we got to hear, and they couldn't get up there. And that's a new world order in town, man. And I'm just so excited. This is the stratosphere we never played in before. So
absolutely, man, absolutely. I mean, it's basically the changing of the guard in a sense, but I don't want to say really changing the guard. The Yankees are good. Now they got to make room for more than one at the table. It's not just Dodgers, Yankees. It's now Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, all at the big boy table. And that's what this means to us. You know what I'm saying? This is something we have been dealing with for years and years, our whole lives as Met fans. These damn Wilpons always screwing up the dreams that we had trying to swim in the big waters, to eat at the big table. But now Steve Cohen, and I knew this day would come when he bought the team, but now it's officially stamped. We here. Justin, what is your take on everything, bro?
I mean, if for Mets fans, if you didn't go to bed with a smile on your face, if you didn't wake up with a smile on your face, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this is what you dreamed of. This is what you dreamed of 4 years ago when he became owner of the team. This is what you always wanted through the Wilpons. And it's always funny to me. It's speaking of Yankees fans outside of friends that are Yankees fans, they just can't fathom how a player would leave the Bronx to go to Queens. It's unheard of to them. They don't know how to react to it. So like you said earlier, coping going on. It's funny for me. It's funny to see it. But this is, and the great thing about Cohen, and he's not done. This is not just a one and done move.
No.
More moves are coming. More moves are going to happen. More moves are going to happen soon. So this is all you can dream of as a Mets fan. He is willing. This is a guy who spent $141 million on a stick.
A statue. Yeah,
that's so this guy. Looking like Groot from freaking Guardians of the Galaxy.
This dude right here.
They're saying Soto this way.
And he's like looking that way. Yeah, he's like looking that way.
Yeah, so money, he doesn't care. He cares about, he grew up a Mets fan. This is why I love when owners buy teams they were fans.
Yeah.
He wanted to see them win. He doesn't care about the cost. He doesn't care what he has to do. And this is all, in the highest he made, David Stearns as president of baseball operations, just bring a sense of legitimacy to the organization. Mendoza, lifelong baseball guy, seems like the right manager. You got the right leadership in place. You got the right owner. You got the right manager. You got the right player to lead the team in Lindor, who should be, honestly, in my opinion, captain. So you have all this in place. You have a future. You have future with prospects and players coming up. So, I mean, what else can you help? What else can you wrap? What else do you want? I mean, it's just all what Mets fans wanted.
Exactly. Before we get to Corey, let me just hit up the chat. Gil Griffin, what's good, man? He putting them laughing emoji. I couldn't sleep either due to my excitement. How could you? I mean, this day, we've been waiting for this day a long, long time. And listen, we heard it all. Oh, hey, he's not going to go to the Mets. He's a Yankee. Why would he want to leave the Yankees? Oh, he's going to go to the Dodgers. They just won a World Series. They got everything going on over there. He could just sit back, don't even got to be the man. He could go be Kevin Durant, and just freaking go to an established team. Oh, he go to Boston Red Sox. Hey, the Dominican traditions of the great Dominican players. They're building up their farm system. Who coulda, woulda, hoping, and all of that. The Toronto Blue Jays, they missed out on Ohtani last year, and they got money to burn. Why not? It was all of that except, only if Steve Cohen wants to overpay, he'll get him. Well, guess what? Everyone was overpaying, tried to overpay him, and he still chose Queens.
Mm-hmm.
Also, let's see on this chat. Ronald Duffney, hi, says, what's up? What's going on? Salute. Raul Almanzar. Let's go, Mets World Champs 2025. Hey, listen, it's early on that.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's early on that.
We gotta play. We got to play.
It's a big moment, but there's a lot more work to do. But it feels good to be a Met fan. Wes over here talking about invite me in. I'll get you in soon, Wes. I got you, dog. I sent the link in the chat. Just hit the link when you get a chance. But Corey, what's your take on the move, bro?
Man, let me tell you something. When you talk about game changers and culture shift, this is the culture shift. This is the game changer. When you talk about bringing in people like Beltran, Piazza, Lindor, bringing in Soto, this is the coup de grace, especially from the Yankees, not the Cubs. Not the Diamondbacks, our crosstown rivals, the Yankees. Mm-hmm. Think about where the Mets were at 2 years ago compared to now. We was all talking about rebuilding, this, and that.
And we had just won 101 games that year too, and we were talking about rebuilding.
Yeah,
especially the way they collapsed down the stretch was like, man, where we going from here? We got old starting pitching aces. The Grom left or whatever. Where do we go from here? And look where we at right now.
Think about where we was at in April, from 0-5 to Juan Soto in a matter of 6 months.
Yep. Tremendous.
The trajectory has changed within 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
One year, 2024. I gotta say, everyone said 86 is one of the greatest years in Mets. You gotta put down 2024 has to be one of the greatest years in Mets history.
Absolutely.
Going 0-5, Pete's home run, Lindor's season, and now to top it off with Juan Soto, we didn't have to trade nobody. We still got our prospects. Yeah, we still got a little work need to be done. We got to bring Pete. We got to tune up the pitching staff a little bit, but we are ahead of the game. We are ahead of the game, guys.
No doubt about it.
And I'm looking forward to this season, but this Mets team, nobody. I'll be honest with you, I thought it was going to the Yankees or the Dodgers. I thought it was going to the Yankees or Dodgers.
Hey, that's what we were hearing. Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox, all of that. Yeah. I mean, how could you not do that?
Uncle Stevie pulled the heist. And this ain't a 36-year-old player we're talking about. No. This guy is 26 years old.
And his
26 years old. Mm-hmm. And the lineup, you got to picture the lineup.
Yeah.
Him, Lindor, Vientos, Pete, Francisco, Nimmo, Allen. You probably looking at what? And the Mets hit a lot of home runs this year. You probably looking at what? Between a good amount, 250 to 250 home runs this season for the Mets.
If they bring Pete back, this lineup is as good as anybody in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to give protection for
because he's definitely will be the link in that lineup if they bring him back, honestly. To give Soto some protection. Because I'll put the Mets top four. I'd put Lindor, Nimmo, Vientos, and Soto against anyone in the majors.
Absolutely.
But then after that, it's like
a lineup too.
It's like, what are you going to get with Alvy? Is he going to bounce back from his thumb injury?
I'm expecting him to have a big bounce back after that thumb injury.
Mm-hmm. McNeil, is he going to be the freaking hitting flying squirrel that we remember, or is it going to be Acuna?
Give me Acuna.
There's so many.
You know how I feel about Acuna.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, we're stuck with McNeil for a few years.
I think he's versatile, though. That's what's nice about him.
And
that's
exactly. And that's what I like about him.
That's the best part.
And that's the thing. I don't think he should be the starter anymore. I think he should be a super utility player.
Yeah.
And guys, don't forget.
That's why I see his role too.
And don't forget, Ronnie Mauricio, he's on the horizon too. We tend to forget about Ronnie Mauricio.
Yeah, but he needs to stay. He's getting the label of injury prone right now.
Yeah, we got to see about him.
You have all the skills, dude. Like, he's a 5'2" player. Like, everyone has said it. Everyone has said it. Like, people from other teams have said it. Other scouts.
Right.
You got to stay healthy, dude. Like, you're not the best the best ability is what?
Availability. That's right. That's right. That's right. And let's get to the chat. Greg Graspy, my guy, the Dodger fan. He's checking in with us. You know, he feeling good coming off his championship. But we gonna give him his respect. Congrats and all of that. But yeah, this is our day.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you have to play the games.
Congratulations. But you gotta play the games though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it, bro. Listen, we are not a finished product. And even this year, and that's what's great about this thing right now. It shows the Mets are not a finished product this year, next year, the years after that. They will always add. That's the thing. They're not going to just say, hey, we spent money this year. Hey, see you in 3 years. Come out and go see us in City, and then we'll raise them ticket back. No. Stearns has a plan, okay? He's already shown he's one of the smartest guys in the room, okay, what he's shown last year. Even I had a couple of doubts of the direction with the pitching he did. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I was not expecting a lot last year. I thought we were probably going into a transition type of year. You know what I mean? But obviously, his methods first of all, with the pitching lab that he's installed here now. All right, Ramon can tell y'all that. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Jeremy Hafner doesn't get as much credit as he probably should. Him and the coaching staff, because you think about it, even years before that, Mets pitchers were going down like all the times with injuries. We literally had 3 guys on our starting rotation that like played almost every game. That doesn't happen for us lately.
That's a fact.
And Jeremy Hafner, he took these guys, he molded these guys. He was like, okay, I see what you do. Let's add this to it. Let's see what we got. And Sevy and Manaea, man, those 2 guys, Peterson, who knew? And like, seriously. So
I totally agree.
We're set up. We're set up very well. Just on all facets of the game.
Yep. And our farm system's coming up, man. It's coming up. Hey, we got some arms coming soon. You know, listen. I'm in on Brandon Sprout. I think he's got some talent. I want to see that kid sometime this year. Hopefully,
Christian Scott as well.
Christian Scott, but he's coming on.
Blake Tidwell, Mike Vassell. We got some young. We got some young kids down the pipeline.
Yes, sir. Let's get to the chat. Is this the biggest Mets signing ever? I mean, it's got to be, bro. Now listen. I will always love Carlos Beltran. I always felt that was our biggest signing in franchise history because of the circumstances. The Wilpons never spent money, okay? And at that time, when they got Beltran, they traded for Delgado, they signed all those guys. When they got all those guys together, that was a big deal at that time because we never did that. This is another level. This is you're getting 26-year-old superstar in his prime years coming on, and he's going to be a part of the foundation of this team, added to what we already have. This is a big deal. This man is capable of breaking every hitting record in franchise history before his career is over. And he didn't even start here. That's the kind of player he is, okay? This changes the landscape. You could make the case he's the 3rd best player in baseball in whatever order you want to put it. You know what I'm saying? You got to put Ohtani up there, Judge.
You
know what I'm saying?
Maybe Bobby Witt or maybe
Bobby Witt. You know, I'm going to give another year or 2 on him, but he's a very good young player, that Bobby Witt. You know what I'm saying? Listen, it is what it is. Ray is just wanted to come on. I'm going to bring Ray to the stage. Let's see. We have Max right now. Wait, give us a minute, okay? We have Max right now, but to add you on, but this is a big freaking deal. This is a big signing, and is it the biggest signing ever? I would have to say so. The man just got paid the highest paid contract in sports history. in all of sports.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no denying it. Justin, what do you think about that, man?
Oh, without a doubt, biggest signing in Mets history. I mean, I don't even think it's a debate. And this is a player. I mean, we're Mets fans. We see him with the Nationals. He loves hitting at Citi Field. I mean, 1,100 OPS at Citi Field. I think he played 30, 35 games there.
35 games.
Yeah, 12 home runs, over 300 average. This is a guy who loved Citi Field. I mean, he loved playing there. He loves hitting there. So, I mean, if anybody thinks there's going to be a drop-off, I mean, it might be a little drop-off for home runs, but if anybody thinks there's going to be a drop-off in production going from Yankee Stadium to Citi Field, no. This is a guy who just loves hitting there, and he's proven it against us time and time again.
Justin, that's a good point you made, not to cut you off, bro. I'll let you finish your point. But I saw some analytics. They said only two, if he hit all his home runs last year in the Citi Field, only 2 home runs less.
Oh, wow.
He would have finished with. So that man can hit it anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, hold on real fast. And I also saw a split of him. He literally had 42 home runs this year, right? If I'm not mistaken.
41?
42, something like that. Yeah.
He had 21 on the road and 21 at home. So he can match anywhere. It doesn't matter.
And he's a clutch performer. He is clutch.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look what he did in the playoffs. Yeah. I mean, he's the reason the Yankees even got to the World Series.
I was going to say, if the Yankees win the World Series, he's the MVP.
Oh, yeah.
He's the MVP because he was carrying that offense easily.
Absolutely, because Judge didn't do anything. So, with newsflash, playoffs, he didn't do anything. But Soto and Stanton were carrying the load. And Soto, he hit that big home run against Cleveland to send them to the series. So, hey, this man is cut. He already got a World Series win with the Nationals, hitting home runs at 19 years old.
19 years old. He couldn't even drink.
19 years old. This dude, like people out there, whether you're a Met fan, whether you're a Met hater, whether you're just a hater in general or just a fan of the game, there is no denying the talent of this guy. He is one of the best players in baseball, and he is a New York Met. Let's get
think about that too. The Mets outfield just got more stronger because this kid has a hell of an arm. You got Nimmo. You could put him, Nimmo, Soto, Marte. You got 3 strong arms in the outfield right there.
You still have Taylor, who's a damn good center fielder.
You got Siri too.
And we just made that acquisition too in that trade.
Jose Siri, yeah.
He got a freaking bazooka cannon, bro.
If you look at his analytical numbers, he's gonna do good with us.
Absolutely,
he's gonna do fine.
Absolutely.
Can I jump in here real quick on this point that's on the screen, guys?
Yeah.
Steve changed the narrative because I love that. Because look behind you and see this statue. That's when we knew.
Yeah. I love it. I love it, Darren.
Yeah. And then he clicked right in. That's when we knew we were going to get somebody like Soto, dude. And he did change the narrative, and I'm so excited. I can't get enough.
Every time I see that statue, I think he probably called Boris and say, "Hey, listen, man, just take the statue, signing bonus. Go check that
signing bonus.
Come on in, bro." But yeah, Steve definitely changed the narrative when he bought this team. It changed everything, and he has now become a folk hero. He's basically just taking a franchise there's no more LOL Mets no more to me. I'm sorry. There's no more LOL Mets. Somebody, the media will try to manufacture certain things because that's what they need to do. Okay. But
in the baseball season is ebbs and flows, so we'll hear it anyway. The Mets lost 4 in a row, by an error, LOL, and then all of a sudden the Mets will lose 12.
Yeah,
and then that narrative is going to go
win because there will be that LOL Mets. I don't think it's real anymore, but the vultures are going to be there waiting for us to fail every time, and I don't blame
them. Definitely.
But that comes with the territory, guys. When you're one of those teams that's expected to contend, they're waiting for your downfall. That's just the way it is, especially when you're a franchise that's trying to change the narrative of who we want to be and who we strive to be. They're waiting for us to fall on our face. But you know what? When God willing that ever happens, that we do get that championship, it's going to be even sweeter.
Bro, the first time he gets a strikeout or goes 0 for 4, you're going to hear the vultures. You're going to hear the vultures come out.
overpaid. He's overpaid. You know that. You know that.
He's a boss. He's a boss.
Somewhere in the middle of Texas, a lot of comments are going to be coming in with that.
Oh yeah,
the Miguez is better. The Miguez is better.
You know that's coming with that nonsense. By the way, that certain guy that is the leading the way to do those things, he already texted me early in the day that he could not make it.
Of course,
boo.
His reason he showed me proof. He did say that he had to work, so we'll give him that. But I mean, are we surprised? No. And Ray, who I'll bring on in a minute, will tell you that.
He already renewed his single team match subscription for the year. He's waiting.
Wes is checking in on the chat. He says you don't put all your eggs in one basket if you are the Yankees. I mean, Wes. I mean, I understand what you're trying to say. Listen, the Yankees wanted them, man. I mean, now I'm not here to say the Yankees are gonna fall on their face because they didn't bring them back.
Oh no, the Yankees.
They will make moves.
Hey, when you're done with your comment, I'll go about the Yankees.
They'll make moves. They will be. They'll get it together. They're still the Yankees. Okay, no one's here to say that they're just gonna become a bottom feeder. They're gonna be around. They'll make moves, bro. But we're not going to just do the whole, Soto doesn't mean anything, okay? Because at the end of the day, it meant something to the Yankees. They tried to bring him back. They were right there with us, okay? And a lot of people felt like he was going back until the last hour yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they know the kind of player he is, bro.
I thought if it was close, he was going back.
Honestly,
I kept telling you that in the chat. I was like, if it's close, he's going back.
But
I had no doubts in my mind.
But listen, like, that just goes to prove the shift in the mindset. Like I think he always wanted to be a Met. I don't think it was as much about the money as him wanting to be a Met. A few years ago on Instagram, there was trade talk. The Mets offered a bunch of prospects to Washington Washington, and there was trade rumors. He liked the post that had to do with him going to the Mets. He took the picture.
I remember that. I think that was in 2021.
Yeah. So it's much more than people are saying, he just chased the money. Yeah. Again, the corporate environment. It's just super corporate. You don't really have that much interaction with the owner. They did a slideshow presentation to him.
Yeah.
At a hotel. They didn't even bring him to the mansion. Nothing. They're I feel like they're archaic in their approach when it comes to recruiting these
new age players.
I'm not talking about Garrett Cole or Rodon or but these top tier 20 to 26-year-old international players. They got to get with the program. They're back in. They're thinking from the past, and that's what's gonna hurt them.
Yeah.
About
he was for sure gonna go back if it was close, but.
Yeah.
About the Yankees are still, they're in a really good spot still. They really are. I mean, obviously, like they'll have to get their corner infielders taken care of, whether that's like Christian Walker or Pete Alonso. Who knows? Like they can just be like, you know what? They got one of ours, we'll get one of theirs. They go after Pete. Bring back Gleyber Torres if they wanted to. They got to worry about a third baseman. They just need to worry about somebody to back up Aaron at this point right now.
Well, let's be honest here. The AL is significantly weaker than NL.
Oh yeah.
No doubt about
it. So they could sign a couple players and still go back. I mean, you play against the AL Central in the playoffs. You whoop them, so they still have an easier path. Whereas the NL is a war zone. So
they signed one position player and like two pitchers. They're right back in the World Series.
They're right there.
Look at the NL East. Our division is a war zone. I mean. The NL West is a war zone. So you have all these teams in the NL that are vying for. Some could easily say the Padres and Dodgers series was the World Series, or the Dodgers and Mets was the World Series, the true World Series this year. So the AL, so they could just sign a couple players. They'll be right back there in the playoffs. Aaron Judge is still Aaron Judge from April to September. He's still Aaron Judge. So they're in a good position. They should be fine to compete for that division. Let's see what the Orioles do. Let's see if Boston, because Boston went up to $700 million. They're going to probably go in for some players. So let's see how that works out for them. But like I said, the NL is going to be a war zone next year. It is going to be.
The NL East is going to be dog eat dog because you got the top right now. You got the top three teams: Braves, Phillies, and Mets. And now the Braves, they're going to reload. Acuna's coming back. You got Albies. The Braves are going to be highly motivated after last year. The Phillies, they're going to be highly motivated. And the Mets, we're highly motivated. So this is going to be. It's a 3-team race in the NL East. It's going to be stacked, and the Mets have to get off to a hell of a start this year. They have April and May. They have to totally kick ass, and because we got lucky this year, we got lucky and some things fell into place. Atlanta got hurt. Yeah. Philly had their issues a lot, and we caught fire at the right time. So next year, this upcoming season, we gotta hit on all cylinders. We have to.
And that's why, that's one thing about MLB now that they, especially now since they added the extra round in the playoffs, most of the time it's about who's playing the best when the playoffs start, and it's the hot team that makes the run. You saw last year, Arizona. I dare somebody tell me they had them in the World Series. But they got hot at the right time. They got in. Texas, they got hot at the right time. They almost missed the playoffs. Yep. But when they got in, they got hot at the right time. A couple years back, the Phillies got in. They barely got into the playoffs. They made a run. They got hot at the right time. They got to the World Series. So it's always about when you're playing well at the right time, especially with the fact that the teams that win the division get those buys. They have so many days off. A lot of those teams are having trouble with the team that's already been playing on a roll. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, listen, the league is different now. The National League is a beast side of MLB right now. There's a lot of teams that you could say right now, would I be surprised if they win the World Series? Nah, I wouldn't be surprised if they win the World Series. American League, much easier path, as Justin mentioned. Much easier path. Okay. I thought the Yankees got a little lucky last year that the Houston Astros got knocked out early and the Orioles got knocked out early. Because to me, and I'm not saying they would have lost to those teams, but I feel like those would have been more competitive series than the ones that they had dealt with. I mean, let's be honest. Kansas City, they were just happy to be here, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no one that thought they were going to beat the Yankees.
Just look at the history. The Yankees just beat up on the American League Central in the playoffs.
They own them. They own them big time. They own
like seriously, you might as well put a Yankee stamp on the Central when it comes to the playoffs.
That's a fact. Wes also checking in says, also cut me a break with the George BS. I guess he told my Steinbrenner, and also there's a lot of hypocrisy amongst Met fans for spending money. I don't know what hypocrisy. I mean, maybe you're talking about like Met fans. I know what we've had these conversations in the past before. I know what you're trying to say. In the past, a lot of Met fans used to complain about the Yankees spending money when we wouldn't. Me personally, I was never down that way. I was always like, man, you know what? I'm not a Yankee fan, but I respect the fact that their ownership and management do whatever it takes.
We would yell at our owners,
why can't our guys be like that? You know what I'm saying? With that kind of hunger. Well, guess what? We finally got that guy.
Yeah.
It's about that life, baby.
Well, I just find it funny Yankee fans bring up hypocrisy because they're the ones now who are mad that Cohen's out here spending money.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
So, I mean, you guys call yourself the evil empire for the longest time. And if you got money, spend it. Now you're mad because Cohen is out here saying, I'm going to spend whatever I can to get players. I don't care about costs.
Let me ask you guys a question. If George is around,
go ahead, Corey. Go ahead.
If George Steinbrenner is around, does Soto come back to the Yankees?
I mean, it would have been interesting. I mean, I personally believe it shows that he wanted to be a Met. To be honest, so maybe
I was gonna say, like Josh said, it seems like he always wanted to be a Met.
Yeah,
because the numbers were very close. Yeah, but George would have made it hard.
Oh, no
George would
doubt
have made
about
it
it.
real freaking hard. He would have been like, "How much are they offering you? Okay, I'm gonna offer $775. Come back to me with the next number."
And Cole would have went up again.
Theory, but he doesn't have that kind of money. Steve does, and that's the problem. He can bring it today, tomorrow, the day before yesterday. He had to sell the stadium rights to somebody else to try to get that money.
Yep.
And he doesn't have it.
And the Yankees have changed. Like they're catering more. Like it goes back to what Joshua said, more to the corporate side. They have shareholders to worry about now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like how much money are you spending and you're not bringing in a championship? Then what are we doing all this for?
There you go.
And furthermore, that whole buying a championship thing, you know, that was like a running joke, but it rarely ever works. It worked with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Well,
they got 3 freaking MVPs in the same damn lineup.
If you go back to the Yankees of the 80s,
oh yeah,
how many players did they bought
Dave
in?
Winfield, Ricky Henderson, Don Mattingly, and they didn't win shit.
They didn't win nothing. And then, like, I'm not going to be biased. Look at the Mets, the early 90s Mets. They bought in 92. We bought in Murray,
the worst money team could buy. Okay.
Yeah, remember that Sports Illustrated article? The worst team money could buy.
Jeff Torborg.
And the Yankees were able to so George Steinbrenner almost sabotaged the Yankees back in. He was trying to trade Mariano Rivera. He was trying to trade Bernie Williams. Andy Pettitte.
The best thing that happened to them was when he got suspended, honestly.
Exactly.
Because they got to get their organization together and they got to draft that core 4 plus Bernie. Let's not forget Bernie.
Exactly. So
I agree.
You know, the late 90s Yankees they didn't because I had a little debate with somebody in the group earlier, and I said the late 90s Yankees, they kind of built. They had their core 4 plus Bernie. But after they lost in 01, they kind of got away from it and tried to start buying again. And then they didn't win again until 09. You know, you get A-Rod, you get Sheffield, you get that lineup was freaking insane. But they didn't win anything until 09. So you have to kind of build up a farm system. And it's not fair to say the Mets. We have about 4 or 5 core players in our starting lineup. If you include Pete, we got Nemo, we got Pete, we got Alvarez,
Vientos.
Who else? That's
McNeil.
That's 5. And then Peterson on the pitching staff. So we surround those guys with a guy like Soto, add some more pieces. We're not buying a championship. We got the big fish now.
We're supplementing what we already have.
Exactly.
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, sorry, Key. At the end of the day, all I'm gonna say is not all Yankee fans are haters. I'm just talking to those particular ones that are. Don't be mad when you look at the end of the table, there's a guy sitting there that you was never thought you would see. Now you got to make room. It's not just you and the Dodgers no more. It's the Mets too. They're as big in this game now as you guys when it comes to this game of playing the game of spending money and doing whatever's needed, whatever it takes to get the player that you target, no matter the price. Now it's not the evil empire and just you and that's it. No. It's different when the rabbit's holding the gun. Okay, it's a lot different now. Because for all the years you guys used to make fun of us because we were mad at our ownership that they wouldn't want to play in those big waters. They didn't want to play on that end. Well, guess what? We got one of probably the biggest player on our side now. Okay, don't be mad about that. Don't hate the player, hate the game. And hey, there'll be some times where the Yankees will probably win those, but now we gonna get ours too, and we got ours this time, and we got a big fish, Juan Soto. Let's get to the chat. Hood Take, my homie T, Yankees versus Mets Subway Series 2025. Book it. From your lips to God's ears, T. I would love to see that.
Y'all better make the World Series.
Hey, he ain't wrong for at least putting it out there because it almost happened this year and we weren't expecting that. So, hey, you never know. You never know. Patrick Rose checking in. They need to get Alonso to give Soto insurance behind him. Yeah, we definitely touched on that. We definitely got to get Alonso back. He's a big part of this. Now that we got Soto, it just makes the most sense. Depending on price, though, because to me, I don't even think it's about price. I know Ramon will touch on this. I think it's more about the years.
It's the years,
Alonso's age.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the years because like what he was looking for 7, 8 years, and I don't think the Mets are willing to go that high. Honestly, I think they're looking more for like a 4 or 5 year type deal, you know, and after the fourth, maybe a mutual opt out or something like that. Because I mean, Pete's already 30 years old.
Remember the last time they gave a big contract like that? They got burned with the David Wright contract. No fault of David Wright's, but David Wright had that big 8-year contract. Never lived out that contract. He got hurt. So I think, and that really put the Mets behind the 8 ball for a long time. So I don't think they don't want to repeat that again, just in case if he gets injured, gets nicked out.
Oh, I'm gonna bring Ray in. Dan, if you can hear me, just give us a minute. I just want to get Ray in here. He's been waiting. Ray, what's goody, bro?
What's going on, fellas? Y'all can hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
So we talking about we I'm sure you've been hearing, listening. We talking about you know, as far as what's going on about how the Mets are building this team up and how the trajectory has changed. What are your thoughts on that, man?
Listen, man, it's a beautiful day to be a Mets fan. And this has been a long time coming. And you already know what we dealt with, having the Will Pines running the show. And now we have an owner that's willing to put everything on the line just to make sure this is a relevant and a winning franchise. So I love it, man. I don't have any complaints about it. You know, this is a guy that wanted to be here. You know, the signs were there. The signs were there. So, you know, when the whole, you know, when the discussions was going on, being that it was dragged out, I started to lose hope a little bit. And, you know, I was mentally preparing myself, you know what? He's not gonna, you know, he's not gonna come here. I don't want to get my emotions all riled up just to be let down. So, you know, I was just focusing on, you know what? Forget about Soto. Let's just bring back the core, you know, bring back Alonso, get Manea. You know, I was on that course. I was so happy, you know, I was proven wrong yesterday, and it feels great. It feels great. I love it. I love it.
It's a new day. It's a new day in Queens, baby. Yes. Pat checking in says, "Nah, let's be honest. Soto ain't the best fielder. Nah, we know. Well, you know, he's not a perfect player. You know, as far as his range, we know he's not a great outfielder. But listen, that's not why. That's not he's in the stratosphere why you bring a Juan Soto to this team.
Right.
He does so much as a player with that bat that, hey, you live with that. You live with that.
But you know what? If he really, you know, if he wants to be better, he's only 26. He could get better. You know, don't get me wrong. He's an average base runner. He's an average, you know, outfielder, whatever. Like, listen, he can improve on those things. Like,
absolutely, he's young,
come on, man. He's still young. He can work on it. So I'm listen. This is generational talent that when it's knocking on your door, you got to answer.
No doubt about it. I mean, you're talking about a player who, I mean, they're comparing him to Ted Williams since he was 19.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as a hitter. 19, bro. 19.
And they still are. They call him today the modern day Ted Williams.
Ted Williams. There's been Barry Bonds comparisons. Like, it's listen, this is a special, like, people really need to understand. Like, yes, he's not a perfect 5-tool player, but those other 4 tools are special. Okay.
But really, how many times do 5-tool players come around? That's why they're 5-tool. Those are generational players.
There you go.
Alex Ochoa. Does anyone remember the name Alex Ochoa?
Oh my God. Lansing's Millage.
I remember.
Millage.
Yeah, these are all 5-tool players.
5-tool players, but play like 10 cents. Come on now.
Alex Ochoa mentioned.
I had to go there. You know, I had to go there. Like, there's been so many 5-toolers, but shit, I remember, listen, maybe before a lot of guys on this panel time, I remember when we traded for Ryan Thompson, and they were trying to sell us that. Ryan Thompson, 5 tools, he can run really fast, he's athletic, he can hit, he's strong, he's this and that. What did he do? He hit like 180.
Yeah, he didn't hit.
Like, it's just, when you get talent like this in their prime, you have to get them. You just have to. You live whatever deficiency that he's just not great at. listen, no one's a perfect player, okay? Okay, he can, like Ray said, he can work on the fielding. He might not be a Gold Glover, but at the end of the day, give me adequate and give me superstar level hitting. Guess what? I ain't gonna give a shit about that other stuff. I'm just not. Okay. Cliff checking in says, watching the Knicks, Raptors, and Rangers versus Blackhawks at the same time. I'll do my best to pay attention. Cliff, I appreciate you always showing love coming through to the shows, man. Do what you do, bro. Also says, let's go Mets. LFGM is what he meant to spell, but we know what you meant, brother. We know what you meant. Patrick says, can't wait for the first Subway Series of 2025. Oh, man. It's going to be there. It's gonna be a fucking movie because the treatment, especially like Justin just mentioned, when they go to Yankee Stadium, we all know the Yankee fans are gonna be ruthless on them. But you know who can handle it? Juan Soto. He can handle that. And I could definitely see him having a big series that time because he's that type of a showman and that type of a player. For sure. So, Gray says, I'll be sick too. Laughing emojis. West says, that's not where I'm going with that. Don't mean anything.
He don't mean it.
Yeah. Yankee Zaz checking in also says, Yankee fans saying we overpaid, but they offer the same thing as the Mets did. Yeah, man. I mean, like, listen.
Make it make sense.
Otani wasn't worth the money he got either. Okay, he got it.
None of these
players. And I know he can pitch, and I know that, but the man is injury prone, bro. Okay. And you could always make the case that no player is worth that kind of money. But you know what free agency is about? I'll tell you what it's about. It's about overpaying the player that you want to get. Everyone gets overpaid every year in free agency. That's why it's called free agency. The value to one team is not going to always be the same to another team. But the point is, if it's there to be getting and you got to make that move to win baseball games, you do it. Simple. You do it. Especially for superstar players like Juan freaking Soto. Also checking in, Zah says, Yankee fans saying we overpaid for Soto like they didn't offer the same thing. The Mets did only a $5 million difference. He wanted to be here, coping hard. Yeah. I mean, if he really wanted to be a Yankee, he'd be a Yankee because the money wasn't an issue to me. It was very close. He wanted to clearly get into, he wanted to be a Met. Simple as that. And I want to also touch on something also. Okay. As we mentioned earlier, there was a story today. The Yankee security team treated Soto's parents badly multiple times, and the organization didn't offer a suite for the family members. And it was a fact according to reports on his decision. And it just goes back to what Josh was talking about. The Yankees have to cut this corporate BS out. And it's to the point of arrogance, in my opinion, because it's like they have this attitude that you should be thankful to be a Yankee. No, these players in this era do not care about none of that, man. They don't care about none of that. All this, you got to shave the beard to play here. You got to have your hair cut to be here. You got to do the corporate way. You got to do it the Yankee way because you should just be thankful to be a Yankee. That's how it plays to these athletes. And they're like, listen, I don't have to play here to have my brand be successful. I can take my brand anywhere. And that goes for any athlete in this era, in any sport. Okay. The whole playing in New York thing and big markets, it holds weight to a certain level because now, especially in the NBA as an example, you go anywhere and you basically can your brand will flourish. Okay. Because sports are being global now. It's a different era. These players don't care about that Yankee way bullshit. Okay. They want to win and they want to get paid. But one thing's a factor, they want their families treated well as well. Okay. And Juan Soto is a family guy. He's an old school Latino. Okay. They, in the sense of the culture wise, you never see this guy in clubs or none of that shit. You don't see none of that. The man is very family oriented. His mom, he's close to him. I even read a report today that his mom still lives with him. And that's because of their culture. Okay. So now you're going to tell me, okay, you play for the Yankees. No, your mother and your father can't be here because we said so. What kind of bullshit was that? You can't do that, man. You can't do that. How about offering that man's family a suite, at least to come to the games to be comfortable, so they don't have to be out in the fans and all of that. You know, players look at those things, man. They look at those things of how you treat them and their family, man. And that was a factor, according to a lot of reports. It cannot be dismissed.
Look, if they're not going to be successful with these new age of players, if they don't drop that, we don't need you need us more than we need you mindset. They're not going to be successful with these new group of players. I mean, let's say, for example, in a couple of years, Ellie De La Cruz gets on the market. They're not going to sign somebody like that because out there, like you said, cutting their you got to cut their locks, you got to shave your beard.
Bullshit.
These new age players, it's not going with them.
Yeah,
but they're going to continue to operate under this mindset that you need us, we don't need you, we can just get somebody else. It's not going to work.
Yeah,
it's just not going to be successful going forward.
I think didn't Andrew McCutcheon have a problem with him? He had to cut his hair a few years ago when he went to the Yankees and he criticized it. So yeah, they got to stop. They got to realize that you're the owner of the team, but you know these players have more power than they've ever had before. You know, they're not going to just sit down and say, "Hey, I'm the employee. I just got to go with the flow."
Right?
Like, no, I'll just go somewhere else, make the same money.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know who just said it, but my brand will continue to grow. Again, that 27 championship BS who cares? Nobody cares about that no more. Your last championship was, ours is 86, but your last championship, 09 to them is an eternity ago. They don't look back at that stuff. Like we know more about baseball than a lot of the players know about baseball now. They don't look back at that stupidity.
Especially with the backgrounds where they're coming from. You know, they're not up on their, you know, a lot of them came from especially specifically the Latin players, they came from a lot of poor backgrounds back home, tough situations. They're not going to know about a lot of guys unless they're Latin, unless they're Latino. They're not going to know a lot of the players in the past history of organizations. That not just the Yankees, you know what I'm saying, anywhere. So you got to treat these guys well and their families well because they're looking at that shit, man. They're looking at it, and you know the Yankees. And I'm saying these things because I'm not trying to disrespect any Yankee or Yankee fan or whatever. I'm just telling the facts because I have conversations with a lot of Yankee fans, and they're like, "I'm fed up with this shit. Why do we have to have these guys be so uncomfortable when they come to our organization? They got to cut their hair, they got to shave the beard, they got to do this, they got to walk us, be a certain way. Like sooner or later, you're gonna have to adapt. And, you know, the old saying goes, adapt or die. You know what I'm saying? It's you adapt or you die. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to survive and grow and keep keeping up with the times, you got to adjust the game plan. I'm not saying let players come in and walk over you, but you gotta just like scale it back. You know what I'm saying? Scale it back because these players, like we mentioned, they don't care about none of that shit. They don't care about that fucking, you know, the Yankee way or whatever. They want to win and they want their families to be wealthy and comfortable. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Wes wants to come on stage. Ray, just give me a minute. I'm gonna bring you back in, but I'm gonna let him come in and get his off. Okay?
Yeah. Do your thing.
All right.
He's going. Yeah.
Wes, welcome to the show. Wes, what's goody, baby?
What up?
Yes, sir. We got a Yankee fan on here. I'm glad. It's like no other Yankee fan want to join, man. But I'm glad you here, bro.
Somebody's got to do it, right?
Yeah, man, for sure. Welcome to the show, my brother. Give me your take on the Soto situation, how the Yankees handle it, and also these reports about the security team, how they treated Soto's family members, and how the Yankees didn't give him a suite and all that. But there's a lot of reports today that is, and it's not just from one place, all over the place now. They're saying that it was one of the factors why he chose to come to the Mets and not stay with the Yankees. What's your take on all of that, man?
All right. I mean, I read the report earlier, and I believe I do have it on my hand. It has nothing to do with his parents per se, but maybe one of them and a close friend.
Okay.
So they weren't allowed somewhere specifically within the stadium. So, I mean, there might be some animosity with that. I mean, the same thing happened with Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. back in the day. We all know how that turned out. I mean, he got $5 million more and 1 year less. So if that did play a factor, then, you know, so be it. no knock on him. He got his money. You guys got what you needed to get, but not fully.
Oh yeah, it's an unfinished product, no doubt about it.
On top of that, listen, there's no hate. There's really no rivalry with the Mets and the Yankees. It's all fan bullshit, if you ask me.
I think it's more. It is a lot more with the fans, but I think put it like this, and we mentioned this earlier. You know, the Yankees have always been up here, and the Mets have been down here for a long time.
Yeah, but
Cohen was here, and
been,
you know, the Yankees really didn't get challenged the way they're being challenged now by Steve Cohen now. Because now we got an owner that want to play in the big waters. You know what I'm saying? They want to play in the big, they want to sit at the head of the table along with the Dodgers and the Yankees now. So this is like something new. First time the Mets have ever, you know, taken someone from the Yankees. So it just shows now it's a new era.
This is
and
not the
both
first
teams
time
are now on the even playing field. You know what I mean?
This is not the first time that the Mets taking a player from the Yankees. I mean, you guys took Curtis Granderson from us.
No, that's not what I mean, bro. I'm talking about like a franchise changing player. We're not talking about like role players. That and plus the Yankees let him go. The Yankees weren't trying to keep Curtis.
Yeah,
Granderson.
but
he left. The Yankees weren't trying to keep him that year. Curtis left, and then he came to the Mets. That's all it was.
Listen,
I believe who was the guy you guys signed to replace him that year? I think it was a big free agent. As a matter of fact, I just don't remember. I don't remember. Maybe you might remember, Wes, but they replaced him with. Oh, was that the year?
Was that the Ellsbury signing?
Yeah, that was the
Okay.
Ellsbury signing, which I try to forget, but
yeah.
Like I was telling one of my friends who's diehard Mets fans, season ticket holder. We've been talking every day, and basically what I told him is like this: if the Yankees play their cards right, it won't be 2013 all over again.
Oh no!
How they lost Robinson Cano to Seattle, and then they allocated that money into 4 players, which 2 of those were actually pretty good signings. One of them was a wash, being Beltran, because he was a shell of himself by that time. But
it's at the end, yeah.
All right. And then Jacoby Ellsbury, which was like the biggest robbery there was on, you know.
It happens, man. It happens. Sometimes, you know, they don't work out.
My whole point is like if the Yankees would have, because there's a problem with the Yankees too, and I'm gonna be the first to say this. Maybe other Yankee fans have say this, but I'm gonna be the first one to say this on camera. The Yankees don't play their prospects. They don't.
No, they don't.
They keep them buried.
They don't. Jason Dominguez has been being called up for like the last 4 years.
That has something to do with Jason Dominguez.
I know he's a special circumstance, but I know what you're saying. Like they hold on to these guys, to these prospects, and it's like either
just to trade them,
or trade them because sometimes they lose them in the Rule 5 draft for nothing.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's true too. Good point.
So like for example, right? I mean, it was good that the Yankees traded for Jazz Chisholm. But what they gave up, especially with the catcher, that kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
They could right now during the middle of the season, they could have, when they were in the playoff push, they could have called up Horbert Vivas. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
But right now, they could use him and Spencer Jones as a trade piece for Garrett Crochet if they want.
Yeah.
I mean,
now,
I would do that.
I want to ask you that, Wes. Sorry to cut you off. I want to ask you that. I've heard a lot of talk that Spencer Jones might be the next one in the Yankee organization. They look at him very highly. You ready to give up on him?
They're calling him the next Aaron Judge. He's up and down in the minors, and I keep track of this. Right? He's not really consistent. So to call him the next Aaron Judge or the left-handed Aaron Judge is a little absurd. And being that, like I said, they bury their prospects. Then they gone to the extreme after the whole Roldis Chapman, Andrew Miller trade where they were just hugging their prospects.
Right.
Right now, it's either you play him or you trade him for an already established player.
Right. I
Thing
dig
is
it.
with Juan Soto, I was also on board with saying I don't really want to trade Michael King for Juan Soto.
I do remember that we had. Yeah, I remember you saying that. That I would
I've been
definitely
on record saying
on
that.
Yep.
I've been on record saying that because I'm like, 1 year for a rental. What if they don't win the World Series?
Right.
What happened? They didn't win the World Series. So you gave up 2 solid players, right?
Yeah.
Michael King, Johnny Brito,
yeah.
Randy Vasquez,
Mm-hmm.
and Kyle Higashioka.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So 2 solid players, right? King, Brito. You could have used Vasquez as a trade piece for someone else, maybe like a Jonathan India, which they lost out now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's off the table.
Right.
Adames, off the table.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm the Yankees, I say if you're not going to get Alonso, you're not going to get Christian Walker, inquire about Yandy Diaz for first base. It's not a bad option.
That would be a good option. And you know, I just made this segment just now. Where do the Yankees pivot to? Where do they pivot at now? Now that Soto's gone, what do you think the Yankees should do? And I want everyone's take on this one.
I don't think that this is an or thing for the Yankees, though.
Yeah.
I think this is an and thing. I think that they can take care of both their corner infield problems that they have and starting pitching, and they'll be right back in it. If they got like an example. They sign Christian Walker. They sign Alex Bregman.
Yep.
That's their infield is solid right now.
I mentioned that to Wes earlier that they should go get Walker.
You get Max Fried or any combination of Max Fried, Walker, Buehler, like you said, the dude from the White Sox. Any combination of them. The Yankees are right back in business. They're right there all over again.
Listen, Yankees not going away, man. Soto. Listen, it's a big deal. But we all acknowledge Yankees are not going away. They're going to be around, man. They're going to look a little different next year, but the Yankees will be in the mix.
No doubt. But this is where I say don't put your eggs all in one basket. Because the main reason why I say don't put all your eggs in one basket is because of the fact that the Yankees do not play their prospects.
Right.
They don't.
Right.
Had they played their prospects, I'd be singing a different tune. I would be saying, yo, put all that money on Soto, whatever, go for it. Right. But the fact that they don't play their prospects, and that's the biggest problem. 2 examples. Mike Ford, been hearing about him since like 2008, 2009. He didn't get called
that guy, the big lefty first.
Chris Gittins, another one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Late, he already had sucked, and that's it. You know.
Right
now, you know they could put Oswald Peraza to play third if they're not going to sign Bregman or.
I like his defense. That kid, he can pitch.
He can play. He can play. Yeah. The problem is they're not giving him that chance.
Yeah, and, you know that sounds like an organization problem. You know that sounds like maybe that's their way of doing things needs to be altered if that's the case.
I mean, if you want me to play GM, what I would do as Cashman, first things first, either what I would do, try to make if I don't get Christian Walker, maybe try to make a play for Pete Alonso, but don't overpay.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, then you make a trade for Cody Bellinger. Then you have Ben
That's
Wright.
the guy I think you need to target.
Because remember, Cody Bellinger.
Hold on, real fast, Wes. Also pay attention to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Because it seems like he just seems like he doesn't want to be in Toronto. So
I know Toronto trade him in the division.
But if they don't trade him in the division next year, you have like a first baseman right there.
Yeah, but his whole thing with I hate the Yankees, all this other.
Yeah, but money talks. You know that bullshit goes all out the window after all
that. Definitely does, bro.
Obviously, but he the thing is with Vlad Guerrero, he tries to paint himself a villain, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how I could put it. Like, he's not that much of a villain. He wants to be that guy, but he's really not going to be that guy.
No.
And it's no knock on him.
Yeah, Justin,
Like I said,
you want to put your take in, Justin?
I'm a little from the outside looking in. I don't know how Yankee fans are feeling towards Ben Rice. I don't know if they still like high on him
I'm
or
high
they.
on him.
Yeah, so I mean, you have him laying in the wings, and I totally agree with the point that they don't play their prospects. I mean, but and looking at trade market, I mean, the GM, the Astros said Kyle Tucker and
It's open.
Valdez, they'll listen to offers about them. Those are two good players. I mean, there's a lot of options the Yankees could go forward with. So we'll
Look at the
see.
list. That's a lot of options the Yankees can get right real quick.
Like I said, I mean, you do a trade for Bellinger, put him at first. That solves your first base issue because he won a Gold Glove at first, won Rookie of the Year at first base. So there's no doubt about that. He's got a solid bat. His bat is made for Yankee Stadium. No ifs, ands about it.
Yeah,
right.
Agreed.
And his dad played for the Yankees too, so
that would be perfect.
Yeah,
so that'd be a whole full circle moment.
Right.
You can't get Bregman. Make a trade for Alec Bohm. Change of scenery could help him.
Alec Bohm,
he would be solid in Yankee Stadium. Although my friend Lou, he thinks Alec Bohm sucks. He hates Philly, but
Bohm is pretty good. He's gotten better the last few years.
He's got a good glove.
Last year.
Consistency could be a little better.
Yeah.
Make a play for Teoscar Hernandez.
Yep.
Right? You put him at center. He could do center too.
And I'll tell you a guy that I think
Hernandez
very well. I'll tell you a guy that I think that's available fit real well in the outfield for the Yankees, and that's Santander.
Well, the thing is, if you want Judge back at right field, you don't get Santander.
Yeah, because he's a right fielder too.
He's a right fielder.
Okay.
Unless you decide that you're gonna platoon them some way, somehow.
Okay.
I mean,
Santander.
Santander, he's been a thorn to the Yankees. So
he's good, man. I'm telling you, and he would hit well in Yankee Stadium, man.
He would. He's got a solid glove.
Yep.
Now, the thing is, congrats on Soto, but you're really paying for his bat.
Oh yeah. We know defensively that he's shaky as hell.
Which I don't understand how he won a Gold Glove over Judge. That's like beyond me.
We know that those Gold Gloves is Fugazi, man. We know both. Look what they treat my guy Lindor. Look how they treat my guy Lindor. Come on now.
He had a lot of defensive errors. I mean, Judge is never going to live that shit down. What happened in the World Series? We know how the internet age is. No one's ever going to forget that. Everyone's going to bring that up. Yeah. They're going to bring it up more than 2004. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Let's get to the comments real quick. Let's get to the comments. We got some people that wanted to chop in. All right. What's up, fellas? It says Buzz Bass. What's goody? Salute, my brother. Salute. He also says Bobby Bo for Alex Ochoa at the 95 trade deadline.
That's a throwback.
I'm sorry, Mem Nation, that I brought him up, but I couldn't hold it in, man. And it goes to show you, not every 5-2 player is going to be the answer. You know what I'm saying? And Juan Soto, we know his range in the outfield is not that good. We know that. All we need is for him to be adequate. That's it. Because the bat is on another level. It's superstar Hall of Fame level. And as long as he does that, listen, you live with it. You just do. You just do, man.
Yeah.
Still got to play the games, though.
Yeah, listen. They figured out he got a ring as a 19-year-old that couldn't field either. You know what I'm saying? The Yankees got to the World Series with him last year. He's a winning player. Just give me adequate. That's all. Just give me adequate. I'm not asking for Gold Glove. I know that he's not about that life. You know what I'm saying? Just give me what you give me with the bat, because that's what you pay for, because he's that special.
Yep.
Well, he's got to do better with the base running.
Yeah, base running too. He got to improve, but like I said, it's not enough to listen, Wes. I'm sorry. It's not gonna make me feel different, baby.
I'm not trying to take your shine away. I'm just giving you some realism.
He's special,
over here.
bro. He's special, and also, I also hold in high regard is that he did it in New York. Not a lot of players can come here and do what he did last year in his only year as a Yankee. Think about that pressure this dude had last year. Contract year, traded to New York, okay? And he went out there and performed. And let's be honest, he was one of the main reasons you got to the World Series, man. That was a lot of weight to me that if you could play in New York. Because how many times we seen it, Mets or Yankees or any sport in New York, these guys go somewhere else, they're great. And then they come here, they suck.
Jason
they can't
Bay.
handle the weight. You know what I'm saying?
Jason Bay. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Jason Bay.
Sonny Gray. Look at Sonny Gray.
That was your version of Jacoby Ellsbury.
Yeah,
Ellsbury.
If you even think back, Beltran's first year here was terrible.
It was
terrible.
He was horrible his first year here.
Yep,
and then solid years for you guys.
And he adjusted.
No, I'm talking about his first year. He had
his very first year. He was such. Yeah,
first year. He had like 16 home runs after like.
But I also point that out. He got hurt too. You know what I'm saying? That collision with Mike Cameron really messed him up, and that kind of messed him up. And give him credit. He actually came back that season.
He came back. Yep.
And played hurt. He just wasn't the same. But listen, he got it together, and he's a Hall of Famer and probably the best center fielder the Mets have ever had.
Yeah,
so.
I'll put it this way. Either way, whether he was going to go to the Yankees or the Mets, stay with the Yankees or go to the Mets, which he did, and no deferrals.
Yeah.
There's no super team for either team.
Yeah. So well, that's the good thing about this situation with Steve Cohen, and and I think there's a little bit of a difference here because how it's shown that it's kind of like you gotta push them. To spend a little over that Lux tax. With Cohen, with the fact that all that money came off the books, it was just a perfect storm. It was just a perfect storm for them to strike and get Soto the way they did. And it's already come out. They were targeting Soto for 2 years. That was their main focus. They wanted to let the luxury tax reset so they can have a chance at him. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, it's about opportunity, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just the right time, you know what I'm saying? The right time. Like, I look at the Yankees, their biggest mistake the last few years was they didn't go get Bryce Harper when he was available. You know what I'm saying?
that was stupid on their part because he wanted to be a Yankee. He
wanted it. He was basically begging into the media he wanted to be a Yankee. You know what I'm saying? And, they didn't do it. They didn't do it.
They didn't even offer him, which was stupid of them to do. I mean, because honestly, what had really happened too was after they made the Giancarlo Stanton trade.
Yep.
So that really derailed their plans.
Yeah.
Real quick before I bounce, Josh, why can't you talk like this in Diamond Discussion?
I was waiting for this. I was waiting for you to say something before you go, huh?
Y'all don't let me talk like this.
No.
Y'all always think I'm attacking. Stop it. Look, man, I'll put up like a basic post and I'll get attacked.
Nah. What you do, Josh, you punch people in the face and then you ask for peace. Right after.
Bro, I've been calling Soto to the Mets since March.
Yeah, you have.
That is true.
I had that. Well, it was a joke, and then it changed from a joke when the Mets went on that run. I'm like, oh, this could be real. Then when we swept y'all, I'm like, yo, Soto looking a little bit. He looking over there like I wish I was on that side. So that's when I thought it was a real.
I gotta get this comment in. Greg Gatsby says Yankees will be mid. But in the American League, that's enough. Wow.
I don't think they're going to be mid. I think they're just going to retool. I think they'll be right back in it.
I do too.
Honestly,
they're going to retool. You know what? He wouldn't be saying this if the Dodgers had lost. He wouldn't be saying this if the Dodgers had lost.
Hello, Yankee Dodger.
If I'm the Yankees, I'm going hardcore after Corbin Burns. Get him away from Baltimore. Get us stronger, make them weaker at the same time.
And even go after Max Fried.
Yeah, take Max
Fried.
There
you go. Corbin Burns, Max Fried, Teoscar Hernandez. Like you said, you could get Cody Bellinger to play first. Dude, you guys are fucking in the American League Championship Series at least.
Easy
with that team.
Well, if they play Kansas City and Cleveland, there will be.
They
just better hope they daddies. They better hope they daddies ain't there.
I'm tired of this narrative that the Yankees have an easy World Series path. I'm tired of it. Okay, I'm gonna make this clear. Kansas City is just as good. They're younger, inexperienced, but they just as good. They could be an AL powerhouse. Actually, they could be an MLB powerhouse right now. They're just as
we'll
good.
see going forward. But last year,
I'm not going to discredit them.
Listen, Wes, I'm not even going to like disparage the Yankees. They got to the series, we didn't. But you have to admit, last year they got breaks of who they had to play. You guys owned the AL Central. There was no doubt in my mind. Let me tell you something. I had no doubt the Yankees were going to the series once I saw Houston and Baltimore were out. I said no. And I'm not even going to say you would have lost to those other two teams, but I think it would have been more competitive. It would have been more of a challenge. You know what I'm saying?
Things could have happened.
Yeah. You know, and it is what it is. It was destined for y'all to do that, but you have to admit that role was a little lighter. That's all. There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, it happens. We'll see next year if those teams make that jump. You know what I'm saying? Especially Kansas City. Listen, when it comes to Kansas City, they're year to year for me. I can't, they're year to year for me. You know what I'm saying?
Kansas City, within 2 years, they're going to be an MLB powerhouse.
Okay, because they do have a lot of good young players. I get that.
They have a lot of good young players
prospects coming up. So we'll see.
And losing the way that they did, I mean, listen, you got Bobby Witt Jr.,
and I don't think Cleveland has even beaten the Yankees in a big spot besides 97. I mean, when have they ever beaten you guys? You owned them, bro.
Remember? No, the Nat series with Jabba.
Yeah,
Chamberlain.
That
was 2007.
Yeah.
2007.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, like everything on his face.
I forgot about that.
07 is the last time.
Okay, I forgot about that.
But even then, like it's just.
But that goes to show you,
when the Yankees see American League Central, they're like, "All right, who's next?" They're like, "Yeah, we got these guys."
No, I'm not going to discredit them.
And it happens. Like it happens. Sometimes you have somebody's number, and you guys just happen to have their number. It happens.
Yeah, but listen, ever since 2004, my mindset has changed.
Yeah.
There's always one. And my last and final thought, Hal Steinbrenner, if you're seeing this, I know you have the bread. Put it to where it needs to go. Play them prospects. And good luck to the Mets.
And spend their freaking money. The Yankees are not done. Like that's the thing. Like
not at all.
So many fans online and like on these freaking sports talk radios. You would think that like they lost the whole team.
Everyone's got a voice. That's the problem. Everyone has a voice.
Before Wes goes, Dan just checked back in. You got anything you want to talk with Wes about, Dan?
No, Wes, you hit it on the head, dude. I think your thoughts on the team are pretty good. I think you got a lot of good. Trying to like keep up with you guys because I was kind of taking my little quiz here for a class as you were going, but I didn't realize I was back on. So no, I thought I liked a lot of what you said there. I got nothing angry to say. Unfortunately, all my combative stuff were at the start of the damn thing when I was talking about George being buried 6 feet under. You missed that, so
No, I heard that. I'm tired of the George shit.
He definitely dropped a comment about that. Dan.
He gets way too much credit than what he actually deserves.
Yeah, we spoke about that too. We spoke about that when he was suspended. The Yankees were better. Like they got everyone together.
Like I said, I've been on record saying everything that I'm saying now. Nobody can say that I have not been saying this for the longest.
The one thing I heard though when you guys were talking was Vlad to the Yankees, and I agree. I think it'd be great. And I know what you're saying, Wes, that he wants to play that villain, but nobody gives a fuck what's happening up in Canada. You can't play that role somewhere else.
Nobody,
you know what I mean? So bring him down south, and all of a sudden, you never know. He's the Joker.
He could be the villain if he wants
once
to.
Once those trees stop burning up there, ain't nobody gave a shit what was going on up there.
All right, Vlad, have you seen this? There's a lot of Platanos in the Bronx.
Listen, I'd rather him keep the Mets.
Great checking in says, I can't stand mid-teens. Yankees need to all in on trading for a big contract to surround Judge into the rebuilding. He also says, stop the cap. American League is not good, as West reports. Also, National League East is better than the whole American League. I definitely agree with that.
It is.
Patrick Rose also checking this in. Kansas City is like Pittsburgh, horrible forever. Then every now and then they put a squad together. I definitely agree with that.
I want to bring up a point before I have to drop off here. Going back to Soto.
Yeah.
I mean, he really bet on himself. I mean,
Yeah.
a couple years ago, he turned down 15 years, 440 for the Nationals.
Yup.
2 years later, he comes back, gets
That's
$300 more million.
Absolutely.
I mean, so
That's what
I
I'm
know
saying.
yeah, and you brought up the point earlier that he did it in New York. He had that year in New York. All the pressure was on him. He already had that pressure of turning down that contract. So you
Yup.
know this guy could perform at the highest level. He could perform when the time is right. He's not afraid of the big moment. And I mean, I could give a shit if he drops the ball in the outfield.
Yeah.
If he's hitting if he's hitting 280, 40 home runs, 1,000 OPS. All
Who
right.
gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like
I can give two.
I want to see that Ted Williams bat Barry Bonds slash bat. I need to see that on my team wearing the orange and blue. Do you really think I'm gonna care because he was running for the ball and it got over his head? I don't give a shit because guess what? And 2 innings later, when he on deck and he bat, he gonna probably drive those runs right back in. So, like, I totally agree
Can I
with
say
you,
something about
Justin.
that? You know what? One thing I want to say, because I thought about this too when you guys were talking before, is if you look at Alonso, when he first came up to the majors to get on this team, he was not a great defensive player. Sometimes it's the organization you're in, and you don't know. You know, you don't know who's there teaching that can, help him out. It's a bigger outfield out there. He might be back to a little bit more, comfortability. I would hate to play in a real short bandbox as an outfielder. So sometimes the organization can turn something around for you.
Yeah,
and proving you're worth it.
Yeah, and I think that the Mets going after Siri and having Taylor in center, I think that'll help. They'll cover a lot of ground, and that'll
a lot of ground. Siri covers so much ground. Yep, you're right.
He can fly. He can fly out there.
You're right. Sorry, Josh.
No, you're good.
Definitely. Back to the chat before we about to end the show tonight. Ben Cruz checking in. What's goody, bro? As a Red Sox fan, what do you think we do? Congrats to the Mets on Soto. I think, the Red Sox, I think they're going to pivot quickly, and I think they showed that they're ready to spend with the big boys. The ownership, Henry, he was getting a lot of criticisms the last few years and not really going after players hard like that. And they're actually now. Listen, I live up in the New England area right now, and I'm hearing it out here all the time. There's a lot of Red Sox fans not too happy that they feel like the Red Sox didn't jump up into that Met Yankee territory of the offers they made when they could have, even though their offer was real good over 700, but they didn't go the extra mile. I think their ownership is hearing that, and they're about to attack. They're probably going to go get a couple of pitchers. I'll let Ramon chime in on this because I know he got stuff to say on this.
I see the Yankees
and another bat.
I see the Yankees, the Red Sox going after the same type of players, honestly. Going after for those Teoscar Hernandez's, those Alec Bergman, Max Fried, Walker Buehler, Burns, Sasaki. We haven't even spoken about him. The Japanese kid that was just posted. Everyone is going to be up on him. So, like, the Red Sox, obviously, like he said, John Henry, like, he's been getting a lot of shit the last couple of years because a lot of shit about him owning a soccer team. Like, he's only paying attention to that side of the pond. But I think that he heard. And do you think he wants to see Baltimore and the Yankees again on the top of the standings while the Red Sox are, like, at the bottom?
No, he does not.
Oh, hell no.
Yep, and they know they got to play with the big boys now.
It's good for – and when all those teams are good in the American League East, just like in the National League East, just like National League, when those teams are good, it's better for baseball. People are going to show up to the parks. People are going to want to see those teams. Instead of like, oh, who's coming to the park? The Sacramento A's. I'm good. I'll just stay home.
Yeah. Cliff just checked in to give you a comment, Josh. You reading that?
Quit hating on New York. You know you miss it up here because you tired. I don't miss New York at all, honestly. I'm at Truist Park a lot, and I'm giving them hell in Truist Park. I tell you that. The Braves fans, but I don't. My only connection to New York, I only miss the food, and I just like the team.
Oh yeah. I know you still repping the Mets out there, bro. So. Yeah, I know you're doing your thing out there.
Have to.
Ben Cruz also checks in. I really want Teoscar and Freed. Yeah,
Teoscar and Freed. That would be wonderful for them.
That would be really good.
Teoscar, he's a good fit for that Red Sox lineup, man.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it. So I think the Dodgers want him back badly, though. But even though they did sign Conforto, I saw that the other day.
I think they signed him as insurance.
Insurance, exactly, because it's only a 1-year deal. They love Teoscar. They really been talking like since the season ended. They wanted to find a way. They even showed like a clip. He was like emotional at the parade, talking about he wanted to come back and everything. So I think the Dodgers are going to really make a strong play to get him for sure. But that's going to wrap up today's show. I want to thank everybody for joining in tonight. It was good stuff. Shout out to Ramon, Josh, Dan, Justin, Ray, Wes checking in. Everybody that came on tonight and been watching, I appreciate that. Before we wrap it up, I'm gonna give all you guys the floor and give us your last thoughts on tonight.
All right, I guess I'll go first. I'm excited. I'm happy. Like we've been saying pretty much this last hour and a half, it's a new era.
Yeah.
Would I ever imagine in my wildest dreams that the Mets would have paid this much for a player? And especially a player in his prime. Are you kidding me? Like, I remember my father and I just yelling at the Wilpons like all the time. All the freaking time. Just what are you doing? What are you doing? Who did the Yankees sign? What the hell is going on? We're in the biggest city in the world. We're in the biggest market in the world. We can't spend with the big boys. Now the big boys got to worry about us spending.
Yep.
We are the big boys now.
Yeah.
We are the big boys. They made a freaking tax because of our owner. They created
before he got
there because
before he got there. Before he got there. And look how many owners didn't. And look how many owners, without naming any owners, let's not go there, but look how many owners didn't want him. And now we're finding out why. Because now they're scared. They're all running scared.
Shook. Absolutely.
And my only other thing is we're not done.
Nope.
We're not freaking done. And I'm excited for that.
There's a lot more to come.
Let's effing go Mets. I'm trying to keep it PG just in case kids are watching.
Hell yeah, Josh. Go ahead, bro.
I mean, I'm kind of like, this is the Soto signing was, like I said, the biggest moment for me since 1998, May of 1998. That's when we traded with the Marlins for Piazza.
Preston Wilson, and that other five tool guy. Remember?
Yeah, Preston had a really good career though. He was solid.
When he left.
Yeah, when he left. Yeah,
thanks for Piazza, my guy. Thanks for helping us get Piazza.
Biggest move since Piazza, and I'm just excited to see what's in store. I'm excited to see what the rest of the offseason holds because I feel like they have something up their sleeve to really enhance the lineup. I'm not 100% sold on Pete coming back. I'm not 100% sold on him coming back. I wouldn't be mad, but again, in the 4 to 5 year range, I'll be okay with it.
Same here. It's about the years. But again, this moment was the biggest moment we've had in almost 98, 2024, 26, 27 years. Long time. And again, I'm just excited. Lindor and Soto, 2 back-to-back MVP candidates at the top of your lineup. It's going to be scary. We just got to, make sure we have guys in the bottom of the lineup to 3rd, 4th, 5th slot that'll drive them in. You know what I mean? That's right.
I'm at a loss of words. I've been calling it, but I didn't believe it until it actually happened.
Reality hits, and it's like, wow, this happened.
I look like a genius,
right? Dan, any final words, Dan?
Yeah, I think I said this in the chat the other day. We had this chance 10 years ago, whatever it was, with A-Rod, and it just didn't happen. And that was the chance to put everything on the fucking table and have that takeover moment. And when we swung out on that, you heard about all the petty shit that it really came down to all these years later when all the leaks started to come out. Right. I'm just glad because last year when we didn't even make an offer on Ohtani, I started to question, is this for real? But he proved it. and now this is just the beginning. And I think we're just in a really good spot. The only other thing I'd say is I just can't believe I got bumped off the show for Ray. I'm a little offended. All right.
Ray all right, man. He all right. He probably watching the Knicks right now. We'll check out what's going on. He all right. He everywhere.
I got one more. I just got one more thing to add. I don't want to cut off. I know Justin and we got to go, but if you also go back 25 or so years ago, you know, players like the Mets had a trade for Griffey.
Yeah,
he didn't want to come here. They had Benitez and a bunch of those premier players when he didn't want to come.
Barry Larkin as well.
Barry Larkin.
I remember that one too. Yeah,
they didn't waive his no trade clause. He didn't waive. They didn't waive their no trade clauses. So we ended up having to trade Melvin Mora for Mike Bordick. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
And that turned out to not be a good trade. So you know, when you got guys like Griffey not wanting to come here, Barry Larkin not wanting to come here, and if Griffey or Larkin were on that 2000 team, oh my goodness. So
we might have won.
Like Soto turning down the Yankees and coming here, it's man. So
it's a sweet moment.
It's sweet.
It's a sweet moment.
Love it.
Justin, go ahead, bro. Give me your thoughts, my bro.
I mean, I want Mets fans to just enjoy it. I mean, this is what you wanted. This is what you dreamed of. This is what this is what we all wanted. This is just amazing. I just feel we aren't done yet. Next couple of days there will be more moves. But we saw it last year. I mean, Cohen has turned this place into a destination. It's fun. It's hip. The players have fun. He takes care of the players. He takes care of the fans, the families. He's just he's what every owner. He's the owner that every Mets fan dreamed of. So just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. We're not done yet. So enjoy these next couple of days because there's going to be some major news coming.
Oh, I got to
feel
know.
So
I like when you talk like that, my brother.
Not to give away too much, but there's going to be some. Trust me, he's far from done. There's going to be some. I think some signings that people are going to like coming up. So
I like it.
Let's enjoy it.
Mr. Met, you got anything else to say, Mr. Met?
Let's freaking go, Mets.
Well, before we sign off, I just want to say this is the dawning of a new era. A new era. It is officially stamped. Steve Cohen era. We are now at the big boy table, and we are not just at the big boy table. We're sitting equally at the big boy table with the Dodgers on the right and the Yankees on the left. And a lot of times we know now that our team is going to be, in some years, will be the biggest dog at that table. Well, there'll be other years they won't be because of who they're playing in the same ballpark with in those situations. But now we know we are right there with everyone else. And as a Met fan, no matter how long you've been a Met fan, this is what we all dreamed about happening. Being tormented with the Will Ponzi's, what they have done to us over the years and not giving a rat's ass about enough winning to even say, hey, we want to win too. Now we have the ownership. Now we have the front office. We have a good young manager. And now we have the players in the roster forming up to become a championship team and end this drought. We don't know when it's going to happen, but I feel confident based on what I've seen now with this happened this year with getting Soto, that it will happen in the future. So let's cheers to that and hope it'll be in the near future. Before we sign off, I just want to say thanks for everybody coming to chop it up with us and tap in. Thanks to everyone checking out in the comments and watching the show. If you're new to the show, all I would just like you to do is to like and subscribe to my channel, Born for Sports. As you can see, I talk all sports, especially New York sports. I talk New York Giants. I talk New York Mets. I talk New York Yankees. Of course, the New York Knicks, Rangers, anything you want to talk about in the world of sports, especially New York sports. Thanks for stopping by. Like and subscribe. Let's go, Mets. Yes, sir.
Yo, Jorge, you don't have to leave.